Hi everyone, hope you're all having a super day. Today I'm here in my gardening room to show you how to plant some microgreens. In a previous video I had shown you how to harvest pea shoots. There are about 2 ways to do it, and if you would like to watch that video, the link is above, so please click on that if you're interested. And today's video is about how to plant microgreens. So today specifically I'm planting cilantro microgreens. I just harvested a whole bunch and I need to start another batch for the next, once these ones run out that I've harvested. So I'm starting a new batch today and I thought I'd show you all how to plant microgreens at home. So because I'm not selling them, I'm growing a much smaller amount. I'm not selling large scale trays as I would be if I was farming them and selling them to restaurants, etc. So for me, I'm growing on a small scale for home purposes, and you can use that method to adapt to your own environment and to your own needs. So really, it's really flexible what you can plant microgreens in. You can find any kind of receptacle that works for you. In my case, I am using one of these, and I really like these little trays. These are really great little seed starting trays. I actually start a lot of things in these little hard plastic trays in the springtime, in the summertime, and I multi-sow in here, then I prick out little seedlings and I transplant them into larger containers. But for microgreens, it works really well for me too, because this is a nice size, but you can use really anything. You can use a larger seed tray, you can use like a box, you could use one of those recyclable containers that you purchase your berries in or your mushrooms at the grocery store. Those are really, really good. My trays have holes in them, but because I'm growing microgreens, it's not as important to have, they wouldn't be in that container for as long. So if you want to use like a teacup for fun or like a little bowl, you can do that as well. You could also use a colander. That would be another really cute item to use because of the holes that are at the bottom. They would give it the natural drainage. So, but today I'm using this. I want to show you what I'm doing. So this one I've already pre-filled, so same container. And because there's holes at the bottom, like I do with all my seed starting, I do put a piece of newspaper at the bottom. And in my case, I use a piece of flyer that I get in the mail that, you know, that everyone gets, and it's garbage. So I do keep them and I do hold on to them, and I do have some right here. So I just hold on to these things and then I cut them up and I use them as my, basically the little filter that goes at the bottom so that soil doesn't fall out when I'm watering it, because I do a lot of below watering in a sink or in a basin or a tub. I like to place all my containers in there. So the paper does stop the soil from falling out. So I put that down first, then I filled my container. As you can see, I've left about 1 inch from the top, which is perfect. And I have my seeds here, so I'm doing cilantro again. And I'm gonna tip the camera and show you how I fill it, okay? So let's tip it here. Okay, so here's my little container. And I'm gonna take my seeds, I already have them here in this bowl and they're ready. And what you wanna do is you want to sow them fairly thickly, okay? Like this. You can give it pretty even coverage. It's not like growing seeds for the garden. You know, I'm not growing plants. I'm only harvesting them when they are basically baby size. Like after the first leaves are the cotyledon leaves, not the true leaf. So the first leaves that emerge, they're basically ready for harvest at that point. You could let it go to the next stage, would be the first true leaf, but then they would have to come off because then the roots would be crowded and they wouldn't grow effectively. So I do sow mine fairly thickly, and I have seen people that do as thick like this, or they go slightly less thick, but I do think this is fine. Now my soil is not watered. I didn't water it beforehand. This is fairly dry, so I will be watering this again, and the water will help it to adhere basically. So here they are. So you can see that they're fairly thickly planted. Okay, so these are now done. And I need to add a layer of soil over top. And it doesn't need to be a thick layer of soil. It could just be like, just a thin covering, okay? And once I give this a little bit of top watering, then it will just all hold into place. And then I'll show you what I do after. And it's an option to do. So anyways, I'll show you what to do next and I'll talk about that. So I'm just smoothing it out. And so what I do is I take another container, because I have another one, I just basically just press it down like this, okay, and it's all pressed down. And then I take my little waterer. Now this is a little watering top that I purchased from a local company, but what it's great about it is that it goes onto water bottles, and it does produce a thin stream. So I do like using this. If I do find a link on Amazon, I will post it below when I post this video. So take a look down there and see if I've posted a link for one of these little waters, but they're super cute. They fit most bottle tops, and they do produce a very mild, thin stream, perfect for seed starting, and I do water my seedlings like this when I am seed starting. Okay, and that's it. Now, a couple of things that you could do. I'm gonna raise the camera here. So a couple of things you can do when you do this. You could either put a little piece of plastic wrap on this and then stick it into like a sunny area. As soon as you see any kind of sprouting, you want to remove that top, because if you don't remove the plastic, this can mold, and so the seedlings would then dampen off and mold, and then the mold would spread, and then you'd have to throw it out if there's any mold. So so you leave it just to basically create a greenhouse effect. So it does have humidity, so that's why you want to remove it. So as soon as you see seedlings emerge, take the plastic off, because that humidity can cause it to mold. Another option you can do, what I'm going to do, is I'm just going to put another tray on top. So if I'm sowing another tray here, and I do have a bunch of these, I would then just place them full. So I do have one here. So this was growing beets, as you can see right here, and this was actually sitting with another tray on top. So I could just do this. And so what that does, by placing another tray filled on top, what it does is it pushes the seeds in and causes them to work a little bit harder to produce healthy seedlings. And the roots will go in. Because I'm sowing them thickly, many roots tend to just pop out. And you can actually seed start this way as well when you're doing a tray. But so what this does is it pushes the seeds into the soil, causes the roots to go downwards, which is the direction I want them to go. I don't want them to get lost and poke up the wrong direction, especially, and then get tangled with the others. So this causes them to be slightly stronger and creates stronger microgreen seedlings, okay? So that's it. And so now I have another one here. Now I put a piece of paper down there at the bottom, and this is how I typically line my pots, like I said, with these flyers. But this will then cause this one above to have darkness as well, and I'll just leave it on the side. And so I'll leave it here on the side like this, and then as soon as I see, I'll check it daily, and as soon as I see germination and the seeds pop up, I will then remove it and put it under the grow lights or in a sunny window. If you don't have grow lights, a sunny window works just fine. And then you would then harvest the seedlings after, like I said, the cotyledon, which is the first leaves to emerge, or just after that, when the first true leaves emerge, you can then chop off all of the seedlings. Just above the soil level, you want to leave a little bit of gap because you don't want to be harvesting soil. And that's it. These should be ready to be harvested in about a week or so, 7 to 10 days, and my microgreens will be ready, and they taste amazing, because all the nutrients are in the cotyledon. The cotyledon is basically the food for the seedling. And so all the nutrients are concentrated in that cotyledon leaf, which would feed the seedling, give it its nutrients in order to grow and produce a full-size plant. So when you're harvesting them at the cotyledon stage, you actually have the highest nutrients that the plant can offer you. And especially when you harvest so many, you really have a concentrated dose. And I already harvested a tray of cilantro microgreens, and I found the flavor really amazing, like really much stronger than just a leaf of cilantro. It's actually a lot more flavorful, a lot more aromatic. You don't need much, and it just tastes so great. So anyways, that's it for today. Hope that was helpful. I hope you guys do try microgreen growing. I do have a link. What I'm going to do is post a link at the bottom for a post that I wrote a couple years ago, 2-3 years ago, on growing microgreens and the process to do it. And in that post, that was a few years ago, I did say you don't need to have drainage holes at the bottom of your containers. And so it's really a personal preference, because the seedlings are only in there for like 7 to 10, maybe to 14 days at the max. They won't be in there that long in order to get moldy. However, you do want to keep an eye on them. So if you're watering from above, just water enough that it's wet. You want to make sure all the soil is wet but not saturated. And if it is saturated, just tip it, and you can pour some of that water out. Otherwise, if you have the drainage holes, then it is a lot easier to water. You could put them into the sink and, you know, fill the sink with a couple inches of water and water from below. And I find that is a great way to control any kind of mold or humidity buildup at the soil level. So that's it. Hope that helps. If you like this video, please click the like button, and as well, please click the subscribe button and hit the notification bell to be notified of any upcoming videos. Look forward to talking to you all again soon. Hope you're all having a fantastic day. Thanks for watching, and happy gardening. Bye for now.